Parang ayaw mo na. I personally experienced burnout sa work. So siguro, ma'am, ang tagal niyo sa service for almost 20 years, almost every day, parang very, na yung ginagawa. Ang tawag natin doon, paulit-ulit, ganyan.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. We are grade 12 students conducting a research entitled Academic Burnout, Qualitative Study and its Influence in Senior High School Students' Mental Health and Academic Outcomes. In today's podcast, we will be discussing the experiences of senior high school students regarding academic burnout and how it influences their academic lives and mental health.
And as we all know, academic burnout is often described as a state of emotional exhaustion, reduced motivation, and feelings of inadequacy caused by prolonged academic stress. As part of our research, we conducted a survey among senior high school students to gather qualitative insights about their experiences with academic burnout. Throughout their responses, we explored its causes, its impact on mental health, and how students cope with academic pressure.
Before we proceeded to our discussion, we prepared a short video that portrays a possible experience of academic burnout among students. In this video, we present a scenario that reflects how academic pressure and responsibilities can gradually affect students' emotional and mental well-being. Let us take a moment to watch the video.
At first, it feels like a normal day. You come home, sit down, and get ready to finish your tasks. But then you notice there's already so much to do. Papers, deadlines, responsibilities all at once. You tell yourself, I can handle this. But one task turns into many. You keep checking the time, hoping you can still catch up. No matter what you do, it never feels like enough. Even at school, it doesn't stop. More work, more pressure, more expectations. So you keep going, even when you're already tired. But there'd always come a time where simple things start to feel heavy. You try to understand, but your mind feels full, and slowly, your energy starts to fade. Then it hits you, the exhaustion, the pressure, the frustration. You feel drained. You look at your work, but the motivation is gone. You're still trying, but it doesn't feel like enough. It starts to feel overwhelming. The more you look at everything you need to do, the heavier it gets. You try to push yourself, but your mind and body won't cooperate anymore. So you stop for a moment. Everything is still there, waiting, but you just don't have the energy right now. You lie down, too tired to think. And that's when you realize you're burned out.
And thank you for watching the video. And to help us better understand the experience portrayed and the issue of academic burnout from a professional perspective, we invited a guest speaker. Today, we are joined by Ms. Red Ryan M. Kataka, a registered guidance counselor and the guidance counselor at Gente de Leon National High School. Thank you for joining us
Thank you,
today.
ma'am.
So, my pleasure.
And yeah, before we begin, ma'am, brief introduction lang na about yourself and your experience working with students.
So, since in-introduce nyo naman ako, I'm Miss Red Ryan Katada. Pero I prefer tinatanggal ko yung Ryan kasi nga, panlalaki. Pero babae. I have 5 kids. I'm married. Tapos I've been in the counseling profession for almost 20 years. But I have also been a public school teacher ng values education. So, still, etong year na to, I'm on my 25th in serving the public school. And as of the moment, I'm the guidance counselor of General Tiburcio de Leon National High School, handling almost 5,400. That's many. Yeah, since ang Genti ang isa sa pinakamalaking public school natin dito sa Valenzuela. Ayun. So far, on experience naman, sabi nga natin, ginagawa ko na lang siyang isang mayroong 1 million at isang kwento sa loob ng guidance office. So, ibig sabihin, kung gaano kadami na yung batang dumaan sa akin, so lahat yun, may iba't ibang mga kwento.
To start our discussion, ma'am, we have some questions lang naman po. And we can start from your experience as a guidance counselor. How common is academic burnout among students nowadays?
Actually, hindi katulad noon pag sinabi natin academic burnout. Nakikita lang natin yun sa mga learners na high-performing.
Yeah.
Yung mga tinatawag nating grade conscious na mga bata. Ganun. Pero this time kasi, napaka-prevalent na niya kasi hindi lang siya, ang academic burnout ay hindi lang nararamdaman ng isang bata na talagang focus sa pag-aaral. Actually, kahit sino na bata, na learner, no, irregardless of kung siya ay grade conscious, kung siya ay honor student, kung siya ay kumbaga nasa middle lang or talagang medyo kinakailangan na magpursige, lahat yung buong aspeto ng pagiging learner ay lahat ay nakaka-experience ng academic burnout. Wala siyang pinipili, kumbaga.
And ma'am, actually regarding what you said, ma'am, ma'am, nababack up po talaga yung research namin because at first, ginusto namin purposive.
Yeah.
We wanted yung academic achievers lang.
Yes.
Pero, hindi po namin tinuloy because
Kasi we realize na parang bias siya. Kasi hindi lang naman achiever students yung
ang makakaramdam.
yes. And in which, nung nakuha na namin po yung survey, out of the 30 respondents na, random lang talaga.
Random students.
Siya, from each strand, each section, it's shown na kahit hindi ka academic achiever, there's still a lot of students na nakakaramdam talaga ng burnout.
Yes.
Academic achiever or not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, how you define academic burnout in a way that students can easily understand? Kasi since very sensitive din po yung top, paano nyo po mai-explain sa mga students na katulad namin yung kung gaano nga ba kahirap, gaano ka-sensitive yung topic na to in a nicer or easier way.
Let me use, parang personification, para mas madali natin i-define yung academic burnout. Para kayong battery ng cellphone na kahit na pag chinarge mo, hindi siya nagdadagdag. Diba pag sa iPhone, diba pag nag-check kayo, pag bibili kayo ng mga second-hand iPhone, diba chine-check nyo agad yung mga battery level niya, ganun, diba? So, meron talaga na kapag nakikita natin, diba, 100%. Meron naman ding batteries na talagang kahit pag chinarge mo siya, kahit overnight mo siya na-i-charge, hindi pa rin siya nag-a-add up. So, ganun natin mas pwedeng i-define yung burnout sa mga learners na kahit magpahinga kayo, kahit matulog ka, kahit sapat yung tulog mo, pero if you felt na talagang burnout ka na, kahit na anong pahinga mo, parang pagkagising mo, pagod ka pa rin. Ganon siya mas madaling maiintindihan ng mga bata. Or at your age siguro na nakaka-experience ng ACAD burnout. Maraming ring mga learners na nakakatulugan yung, di ba, pag nag-aaral. Yeah. Di ba minsan pag hindi natin namamalayan, sa sobrang dami tapos sa sobrang pagod, minsan napapagalitan na kayo ng mga parents ninyo na, pumunta ka na sa kama, matulog ka na kasi nakatulugan. So that's part and parcel na hindi mo pa natatapos yung task mo, pero pagod ka na. And then pagkagising mo, pagod ka pa rin. So parang yun, ganun natin mas pwedeng ma-illustrate, mas madaling maintindihan yung ibig sabihin ng academic burnout.
Ma'am, sakto, to follow on.
Mm-hmm.
What makes academic burnout different from normal stress or pressure na usually nararanasan?
Okay. Kasi pag sa stress, for example, di ba, ang stress ay nararamdaman natin kapag mayroong isang big event or isang pangyayari, kaganapan, di ba? So, tumataas yung cortisol level na sinasabi nga nila, di ba? So, pero after nun, pagkatapos ng activity, for example, pagkatapos ng exam, so yung stress, nakahinga ka na, so minsan nawawala siya, di ba? Yeah. Pero kasi pag burnout, that's another story. Wherein, kahit natapos na yung exam, tapos na yung big event, pero yung feeling, yung pakiramdam na pagod ka pa rin at nandun ka pa rin sa event na yun, actually, that's burnout. That's how you differentiate stress from burnout. Tapos, yung stress kasi, saglit lang. Unlike burnout, parang chronic illness na, parang actually, sakit siya na depende na lang sa level o sa degree ng burnout until such time na talagang kailangan mo na talaga ng mas mataas o mas professional help. No? Pero kung sa learners ang pag-uusapan natin, yung stress, ganun na yun. Stress after a big event, after a preparation, pag natapos siya, tapos na. That's stress. Nandun talaga, may pressure eh. Pero sa burnout, kahit tapos na siya, pero namdam mo pa yung pagod, yung bigat ng dinadala. Actually, that's burnout.
Ngayon, ma'am, sabi nga din po ng mga respondents namin na when it comes to burnout, it's not just the saglit ang feeling na, nakakatamad. It's actually the genuine lack of motivation na even after weeks na natapos mo na or parang may isang linggo ka na ng pahinga, that time na may gagawin ka na ulit, you just have the lack of ability, the motivation.
Yes. Parang ayaw mo na. I personally experienced burnout so siguro, ma'am, ang tagal niyo sa service for almost 20 years, almost every day, parang very, yung ginagawa. Ang tawag natin doon, paulit-ulit, ganyan. If you will ask me, when did I felt that? Parang before pandemic lang. Sabi ko parang napaka-monotonous na nung trabaho ko, nakakasawa. Magagalit ka sa mga bata, pagkatapos aayusin mo yung problema, and then ganito na naman, magagalit ka naman. Yung lagi na lang ba akong galit? Parang ganon. So, hanggang sa pagdating mo sa bahay, syempre, as a mother, syempre minsan may extension ng work, although hanggat maaari yun. I draw the line between what's in the home, yung nasa bahay. Sabi ko nga, I also felt yung burnout na yan. So what I did, is something na para may motivation ulit. So medyo gumawa ako ng paraan na kung saan I am always looking forward into something na activities para ma-divert yung pagbaba ng motivation, and then makita ko ulit as what's my purpose. So parang ganun siya.
Ma'am, thank you. And actually, second segment namin ito na po. Causes of academic burnout.
Okay.
Sakto siya. Kasi based on our survey, many students mention yung workload And expectations talaga yung major, causes of burnout.
Mm.
So, sa question namin, number 4, what are the most common factors that contribute to academic burnout among students?
Okay. So one, nasabi niya na kanina yung isa is excessive workloads. Especially sa mga senior high, specifically sa grade 12. Ang daming research, ang daming performance task, sabay-sabay, no? So that is one factor po that could contribute to the burnout. Another is the lack of control. Lack of control when it comes to your feelings. Kasi tao ka lang napapagod ka, no? Ang dami mong iniisip, no? And then lalo na kung nami-mismanage mo yung iyong time. So that is another. And then another factor is the high stakes testing. So what do I mean yun? Yung feeling na kapag exam, so yung expectation mo kasi nag-aral ka diba? Nag-aral ka tapos biglang yung exam mo ganito lang. Hala, parang pinagpuyatan ko mag-review tapos parang nawala lahat yung pinag-aralan ko. Parang it's either na mental block ka or hindi talaga yun yung lumabas sa exam. Kasi diba, we don't have control on such matters like that. And then, lumalabas yung pagiging perfectionist. Kasi nga, mataas yung expectation, not by the others, pero mataas kasi expectations nyo sa sarili ninyo. That's why, alam nyo yun, you thrive to reach yung mga bagay na hindi na kaya Pero dahil nga meron ang kabataan ngayon ng ugali na kailangan ganito. So kaya napupush to the limits kayo until such time hindi nyo naman na talaga kaya. So that lumalabas yun. Lumalabas talaga. So those are some few of the factors na pwedeng mag-cause.
And ayun ma'am, parang connected din siya doon. Yung next question namin is, why do workload and expectations strongly affect students' today?
Actually, ang isa rin sa mga nakaka-affect is the expectations ng surroundings ninyo. Expectation, at the same time, expectations na very open kayo ngayon sa social media. So, lahat ng nakikita nyo sa social media, gusto ninyo, or kapag positive, gusto din ninyo na ma-reach niya siya. But, let's kumbaga harapin natin yung katotohanan na hindi lahat ng nasa social media ay totoo. Diba? Unfortunately, puro maganda ang pinapakita sa social media. Pero yung kabilang part, hindi. Kumbaga ngayon na lang, may pakonti-konti na nagpapakita na ng mga negative news, negative feedbacks. Pero yung sabihin mo talaga na dati na tinitignan nyo, o ang gusto nyo lang lagi is ano yung maganda, ano yung pwede sa atin, yung expectation is mataas. So, doon kasi kayo nakabatay. So, ano nangyayari? So, ganun din. Katulad ng nasabi ko kanina na pinupush nyo kasi yung sarili nyo to the limits na at some point, hindi nyo na kaya. Pero dahil sa expectation ito ng ibang tao at nakikita ng ibang tao at maririnig ninyo na sasabihin ng ibang tao, so kaya nyo nararamdaman yung nagkakaroon tuloy ng burnout.
Yun. And speaking of the topic, ma'am, nabanggit mo na nga, ma'am, I believe, though I feel like medyo research gap namin. But I feel like, what do you call this? Social media standard is one of the, nakaka-apekto din talaga sa academic. Because, doon nagkakaroon ng constant, comparison yung mga estudyante. Kasi, as one of our teachers defined, social media standards as pangit kasi, it only shows the highlight.
Yeah.
The peak of a person's life. And because of us, scroll lang tayo, we're just sitting there. We're just passing time. Anong nangyari? Ay, nandito ako, scroll lang ako through FB, IG, TikTok. Tapos sila, grabe, may method. Ay, with high honors. There's a constant comparison.
May pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure into yourself.
Mostly sa TikToks, ma'am. Yan. Makikita nila nagpa-post na daming medals, daming nakakapunta sa mga ganitong
Lugar.
conventions,
Oo,
mga
tapos
ganyan.
pagkain,
Tapos,
yung mga
makikita ko
ganun
mga
ba?
sa school ko
Yeah.
sa, kami sa, buti pa siya.
Yeah.
Yung ganyan yung constant question ng, na sinasabi ng mga nakakapanood o nakikita ng students sa social media na nako-compare na talaga nila yung sarili nila. Bumababa na yung self-esteem nila when it comes to academics.
So,
Dahil
nagiging
sa mga
added pressure yun on your part na
Yes.
bakit sila? So, parang, so kailangan, for me to experience this, kailangan ito. Ito yung kapalit. Kaso nga lang, hindi naman kasi kayo magkaparehas ng sitwasyon in the first place. Pwede siguro, at most, etong taong to, kaya nakakaranas ng ganito kasi unang-una, financially stable, o kaya naman when it comes to connections, madali para sa kanya. So, yun yung hindi nakita. Kaso, since gina-idolize mo kasi itong someone na to sa TikTok or sa IG or sa... So, parang sinasabi mo na gagayahin ko to. Pero, behind those popularity and everything, naghirap din siguro yung tao na yun. Yun lang, ang pinapakita niya lang talaga. Yeah, the highlights lang. Pero yung sufferings din niya, yung pains niya, hindi, napakadalang na ipakita.
And yun, ma'am, sakto. Speaking of other factors,
Ma'am, how do responsibilities outside school, like family, duties, or personal concerns affect a student's ability to manage academic stress? Kasi mostly, family.
Yeah. Tandaan nyo, hindi lang kayo estudyante.
Yeah.
Kapatid din kayo.
yes.
Anak din kayo.
Yes.
No? So, marami sa atin o marami sa inyo na hindi ka lang nag-iisang anak. Maswerte ka kung isa ka lang na anak, wala kang ibang kapatid na aalalahanin. Although, isa kang anak. So, may mga expectations din ng parents mo na nakaka-contribute ng stress. Tapos, at most, nagiging burnout na, lalo kung meron tayong parents na medyo very vocal.
Sa expectation.
Yeah, diba? So, dapat, tapos, they tend to compare you pa sa mga pinsan, sa mga, anak ni kumare, anak ni...
Ano tawag dyan mo? Filipino staple experience.
Yeah.
Pinsan.
Oo, di ba? Yung mga ganyan, yung anak ng kumare ko.
Buti pa
ganito
yung anak ni ano.
Yes. Tapos, ikaw, kailan ka magkakaroon ng medal? O, kailan gusto ko sana makuha mo lawyer? Pero, alam mo sa sarili mo na you're not that, kumbaga, di ba, syempre, pag lawyer ka, kailangan good reader ka, tapos yung iyong memory ay very, very sharp, di ba? Ikaw sa sarili mo, alam mo na, ganito lang ako, hindi kaya to ng sarili ko, pero yung expectation ng parents ko, ng titas and titos ko, ng lolos and lolas ko, so, yun. That's definitely outside. Pero pag tinignan mo siya, di ba, nakaka-add factor pa siya na kasama pa yung expectation ng teachers nyo, lalo sa mga may kapatid. Tapos hinawakan ni teacher yung una mong kuya o ate. Uy, ang talino ng kuya mo, ang ate mo, bakit ikaw ganyan lang? That is another expectation on your part.
Na akala ng iba, simple thing lang na na-compare ka, pero deep inside, masakit na yun sa part mo kasi aside sa nako-compare ka, tumataas yung expectations ng ibang tao sa'yo at mas nagiging mataas yung parang goal na gusto mong i-reach.
Ang personality mo is not that strong.
Yeah.
So, instead na ma-motivate ka, na positive, siguro on their end, hindi natin sila masisisi. Na parang siguro feeling nila, that's motivation on their end. Kung ikaw, hindi strong ang personality mo, yung motivation na akala nila na motivation ang sayo, pinapababa niya yung self-esteem mo. Kasi iba yung dating nung comparison na yun sa'yo. So, that's another form of parang outside the ACADS na mga factors na nagko-contribute sa burnout.
Kaya nga, masasabi ko talaga, just like for the past 3 questions, there's been a constant reappearance of comparison. And genuinely, I believe that outside of this research, I really do believe that comparison is the thief of joy. Na no matter what we do, no matter who they are, we should never compare ourselves to anyone. Kasi, as you said, ma'am, everyone has their own different individual life. You could have a similar experience, but you could never have the same experience.
Also, you have your own timeline.
Yes.
Hindi kayo pwedeng magkapares ng time. O, magkaedad kayo, magkaklase kayo. Pero yung timeline, magkaiba lahat. Parang kahit nga kambal eh. Parang gano'n, di ba?
Yeah.
Meron pa rin difference eh. What more kung individual. Parang that's the mere ang taas ng expectation. Kaya yung burden sa shoulders ninyo, for example, is instead na maka-motivate, lalong nagiging burden siya on your rest.
And continuing, sa segment 3 naman namin, ito na yung impact
Yeah.
sa mental health.
Some students in our survey share that they feel emotionally drained na po talaga and even stressed during their rest time, katulad
Yeah.
ng sinabi ko po kanina. So, how does academic burnout affect students' mental health and emotional well-being?
Actually, yung cycle of anxiety and depression is magiging very evident doon, no? Na kapag hindi na-address yung stress, yung academic burnout, saan kayo nagkakaroon ng mental illness, wherein anxiety and depression occurs. Lalo na kapag hindi na-handle ninyo na maayos, na hindi ninyo siya na-identify kagad na kapag hindi ko inayos to, possible siya na mag-lead siya into anxiety and depression. So, doon siya medyo magkakaroon na ng mas malalim na effect sa inyo.
And ayun ma'am, sa segment 4 naman, kasi sa question namin kanina, feel ko nagpag-usapan na naman siya, which is yung tawag dito, why does academic pressure sometimes extend beyond school hours? Which is, ayun nga, na-explain mo na din kanina na kahit sa pahinga or kahit makapagpahinga na sila, when you're burnout,
Ito pa rin, yeah.
bawal mong sindihan yung gasolina, wala naman na talaga
Wala nang
gasolina.
yes, ubus na, parang gano'n, yeah.
Kasi gaganon mo na ng gano'n na.
Click ka lang ng click, tapos wala na talaga eh.
And yun so continue naman kami sa fourth segment namin, which is yung, students' behavior and experiences. Kasi some students in our survey shared that they feel emotionally drained and even stressed during their rest time. So, eto ma'am, meron kasing mga cases na parang mismo sa room na nila na like parang they were super legally, pero after nung sobrang daming, like for example events, na malalaking events, makahalata mo sa estudyante na parang kumingin siya, parang mas naging emotional siya, gano'n. And ayun, continuing with the question na, how does burnout usually show in a student's behavior inside the classroom?
Okay. May mga mapapansin kayong kaklase ninyo na at most very active. Pero after nun, makikita nyo na lang tulala na sila. Yung mga nakatingin lang sa bintana, yung mga nakatingin sa bintana na yan yung mga ang dami-daming tumatakbo sa isip niya na hindi na niya alam kung ano yung uunahin niya. So that is wrong. Another also is, kailangan yun, yung time to time, uy, okay ka lang. Dapat merong someone na very, very keen, especially those who are very keen observer, na kapag medyo very evident na laging tahimik. Tapos, pero alam niyo at most academically talagang performer yung tao, and then all of a sudden biglang hoops, baksak, o kaya naman lagi uma-absent. Pag kinumusta mo naman, sasabihin niya maraming masakit sa akin, masakit yung tiyan ko, masakit yung ulo ko, masakit yung ganito ko. So parang yan yung mga signs and symptoms actually ng isang individual na nag-uumpisa na yung kanyang burnout ay nagiging into a much bigger ayoko namang sabihin problem, pero yun kasi siya na kapag hindi in-address yung little things such as the burnout, talagang it can lead to anxiety, depression. Kaya yan yung mga dapat na tinitignan natin sa mga kasama natin.
May nabasa nga ako, ma'am, na smaller things matter the most.
Yeah.
Kasi kapag yung small things na yan, kapag nagpatong siya ng nagpatong, dumami ng dumami, mas lalo siyang masakit.
Diba, kahit yung mga maliliit lang talaga. Sabi nga natin, diba, especially kung, for example, si teacher. Actually, si teacher, kaya niyang pansinin yan eh. Kapag, for example, at first, performer ka. Pagkatapos, all of a sudden, biglang nag-decline yung iyong performances. Possible yun na, bakit? Pwede na sana kumustahin ni teacher yun para hindi na siya mag-lead into a bigger problem. So, parang ganon. Yung mga kaklase natin na malayo ang tingin, possible din kasi na baka napapagod na sila sa pressure, nawawala ng motivation. So, yung a little chit-chat or over a cup of coffee, kumbaga, konting eat out lang, ganon, baka makatulong para hindi na siya maging mas malaki pang problema in the future.
Moving to our segment 5, ma'am, coping and support.
See.
For the first question of segment 5, ma'am, what are some healthy coping mechanisms students can practice when they feel overwhelmed?
First is, kung kaya, the power of no. Yung pag hindi mo na kaya, walang masamang magsabi ng no. Hindi ko na siya kaya. Kasi there's a lot more of my cup. Parang gano'n na. Pwede bang this time, sa kanya nyo naman ibigay, makikinig lang ako, o kaya naman ay dito lang ako sa side, kasi hindi ko na siya kaya. So that, pwedeng magsabi ng no. Hindi ka bawasan sa grade, kasi for example, sa mga group, kasi maiintindihan naman yan na kapag there's too much on your plate, sabi nga natin, no? Pag sobra ng dami, talagang you cannot handle na the situation. Kung, for example, gawin natin na ang dami na sa pinggan mo, may pansit ka na, may spaghetti ka pa, may chicken ka na, may pork ka na, may kanin ka pa, may beef ka na, ganyan-ganyan. Saan may lalagay yung dessert? So, parang ganon. So, wala ka nang mapaglalagyan. So, baka naman po pwede na, teka, stop muna. Iba naman. So, that is one. You could say no, na po. And then another is, pwede po kayong magpahinga. Yun ang problema. Yung expectations coming from the outside and your expectation on yourself is hindi mo binibigyan yung chance mo, yung self mo ng chance na magpahinga. Kahit na little 10 minutes, 20 minutes, pwedeng magpahinga.
And, ayun ma'am, so since nasabi naman namin yung tawag dito, healthy habits, what are some unhealthy habits naman na dapat iwasan ng isang estudyante?
One is overeating. Kasi nagsasalita. And ako naman kasi physically talaga, kahit nung bata pa ako, medyo malaki na talaga ako. Pero as much as possible, no, do not torture yourself or put yourself into the stress eating. Tapos yun, yung sobrang isip, nag-overthink, yan. Tapos yung expectation sa sarili, wag masyado. Para hindi ka masyadong mawala sa ano tawag natin ito. Hindi ka masyadong mawala sa iyong direction. Ano pa ba? Yung feeling mo lahat, sige, bigyan nyo sa akin. Kaya ko yan. Ako na lang dyan. Yung mga ganyan. Hello, hindi kasi, wala kang superhero. Kasi ang tawag natin daw, pag sa psychology is you have the superhero syndrome. Kasi, give it to me. Everything. Akin yan. Ako na dyan. Tandaan mo, hindi kasi Superman. Ganon. So, that is another, parang, wag mo na akuin yung isang bagay o yung maraming bagay na hindi mo naman kaya kasi tao ka lang din. So, parang, yun, yung mga ganong mga
Ito ma'am, and continuing sa segment 6, this is more of, talaga, specialty ko na ito. We're moving on to how to, kung paano, solusyonan ng mga estudyante yung burnout. And, ma'am, what would you say the role of, yung role ng teachers, if ever man na makaranas yung student ng academic burnout, what could they possibly contribute to to heal or possibly mag-relight na fire dun sa sila.
Ang importante kasi sa teacher is unang-una aware siya. Kilala niya yung mga students niya na kilala niya in a sense na eto performing to, eto posible to na maging leader, may potential, eto talagang follower lang, no? So, dapat kilala niya yung kanyang mga learners para alam niya na, for example, ito si leader, marami na siyang part. So, ibigay natin dito sa posible na pwedeng maging leader someday. Yung merong potential. Yung mga ganyan. So, ikaw na medyo nakikita ko na wala kang masyadong potential into leadership, pero you are a worker, so I'll give you task. So, parang mga ganon. So, yun yung kay teacher. Pero dapat si teacher din ay nakakaramdam. Alam niya kung kailan na-overload o masyado ng overload yung mga learners niya. So, that another yun. And then, kayo mismo, not only sa teachers, for example, sa inyo, as sa sarili ninyo, you have to set boundaries. Although mahirap sa part ninyo, kasi mahirap kayong, kasi ako may mga anak din ako at your age din, no? Mahirap kasi na pag sinabi ng parents sa inyo na itigil mo na yung, oh, gabi na, tama na yan. O kaya, nanonood ka na lang, scroll ka na lang sa Facebook or sa TikTok or sa IG. Oh, matulog ka na, bitawan mo na yan, kasi hindi kayo nakikinig sa amin eh. So, pero, pag in a bigger picture, in a larger picture, pag tinignan ninyo, nagbibigay na pala kami ng sign na, wait anak, magpahinga ka na. Kasi, para mas mahaba yung pahinga mo. Kasi nakakadagdag, sabi nga natin, nakakadagdag din ng stress, di ba? Yung pag-scroll. So, that is another. And then, self-care. Mahalin ninyo yung sarili ninyo. Yun yung nakakalimutan ninyo. Akala nyo siguro yung konting, yung me time na pwede nyo sanang ibigay sa sarili nyo. Actually, yung pagde-detach sa gadget. Dati naman walang gadgets eh. Dati walang cellphone. Lumaki. Actually, pag tinignan natin, ito yung mga part na kami, yung generation, parang generation namin, kami yung nabuhay na wala kaming cellphone noon at may cellphone ngayon. Kaya, kaya naming magtiis nang wala kaming cellphone. Pero yung generation nyo, the Alpha, the Gen Z, pasok na natin si Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, no? Yan yung pag nasira yung cellphone ninyo, hindi nyo na alam kung anong gagawin ninyo. Yun. Pero, hindi ninyo alam na pag nade-detach pala kayo into something na nagbibigay din ng pressure sa inyo, hindi nyo nararamdaman na nakaka-refresh din siya at some point. Kaya nga ngayon, ang ginagawa nilang na dahil paraan ng mga parents ninyo siguro, kung mag-out of town kayo, tapos sa out of town, walang wifi,
So,
diba?
no choice.
Yeah, no choice eh. So, anong gagawin ninyo? It's either you go to doon sa mga games, board games, na mga, basta anything na walang gadget. Or, minsan, diba, sa beach, o kaya naman sa mga ilog, kasi doon mga walang connections eh. So, bakit yun? Pero at the same time, hindi ninyo nakikita yung bigger picture na, ay, na-refresh. Parang ganun. So, that's part and parcel of taking care of yourself. And loving yourself more, na kung saan pagpahinga-hinga naman yung sarili ninyo. Yun.
Dito ko naman masasabi yung quote natin. Sabi nga naman na you should always give the love that you give for others to yourself.
To yourself. Yes. Oo. Tama naman.
And, ano ma'am, sa segment 7 na kami, advice and closing insights na to.
As we come to end our discussion, ma'am, Ma'am Reb, what advice would you give to students who feel like they are already burned out and those who feel like their efforts are already not enough?
Sabi ko nga, learn to love yourself. Kasi pag minahal mo yung sarili mo, malalaman mo yung limitations mo. And kapag alam mo yung limitations mo, may possibility, there's a big possibility na you can say no kasi hindi mo na to kaya, no? At the same time, yung what do you call this, yung influence coming from the outside factors ay hindi na masyadong sa'yo, parang hindi siya magiging burden sa'yo kasi sinabi mo na kaagad na ito lang yung kaya kong i-offer. Pero at the same time, syempre bago tayo mag-say no, kailangan pinakita mo rin yung efforts mo para makita nila na ay oo, eto, dito siya magaling. Huwag niyo siyang bigyan ng for example, ng role na director siya kasi magaling siya sa production, magaling siya sa costume, magaling siya sa pero huwag niyo siyang bigyan ng trabaho na script writing, for example, gano'n. Kasi wala talaga. Pero paggawa mo sa kanya yung costume, yung hair and makeup, so mag-focus tayo doon sa kung saan strength mo. And then, kung alam mo naman yung weakness mo, so, you have to learn the craft. Kasi hindi naman din masama na mag-learn ka ng another craft para at least may added ka pa. May panibagong learnings ka na matututunan, pero little by little, lumalaki din yung kakayahan mo na hindi ka lang nag-stuck dito at some point.
Ayun, ma'am. So, since and na tayo, ma'am, quick reflection lang, just like you said, na for the students to develop a healthier mindset, first of all, of course, we have to learn how to say no. Na sadyang may mga bagay talaga na no matter how good we are, no matter how skilled we are in this field, hindi talaga tayo kaya. And sometimes, just like you said, ma'am, if our plate is already full, we shouldn't ask for more.
Yeah.
Kasi for example nga, puro adobo na dito, may kare-kare pa, puno pa yung kanin. There's no room for dessert. Mauumay ka na. You will lose your appetite. And just like that, in academics, you will lose your spark. And ayun, ma'am, thank you very much for sharing yung mga insights mo sa amin, and through our research, the survey responses we gathered, and today's discussion, we were able to understand so much better kung ano nga ba academic burnout, how it affects students, and bakit sobrang helpful ng support systems, and much more yung how you view yourself. And a takeaway home note is comparison kailangan sa
And then one last thing, kung talagang yung burnout ay napansin nyo talaga na medyo kakaiba na siya, you also have to open your mind na you can consult to a more professional. For example, you can go to a psychologist, no? Or to a therapy ka na, psychotherapy. Pero kung talagang mas into pa, you can consult a psychiatrist para mas lalo kang matulungan. Kasi magpapile up yun, sabi ko nga, burnout can lead to anxiety and depression, and one way of healing those are therapy. Also, you have to take meds, syempre, no? Pero yung meds kasi, si psychiatrist naman na yung kailangan na bigay na ng reseta, no? So, pag lang, no? Kumbaga, worst case scenario, yung gano'n.
Once again, we would like to thank our guest, Ma'am Red, for joining us and sharing her expertise with us. We would also like to thank the students who participated in our survey and contributed to our research. We hope that this discussion not only raises awareness about academic burnout, but also encourages students to prioritize their well-being alongside with their academic goals. Sabi nga namin kanina, small thing matters. Huwag niyong babaliwalain kung ano yung nararamdaman niyo. Kasi kapag nag-build up siya ng nag-build up, mapupuno kayo at mas lalong magiging masakitin para sa inyo. Thank you for listening to our research.
And ma'am, before we end, do you have isang matindiyang quote to help the students to close this up?
Well, all I have to say is just learn to love more yourself. Kasi loving self means kumbaga, kung paano mo mahalin ang iyong girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatsoever, no? O whoever, is, it's just a piece of cake lang. Pero yung mahalin mo yung sarili mo, no? Yun yung whole, yun yung importante. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome po.
Thank you, Ma'am Red. So much.